It's time for the SP and Bushy Show. Here's your hosts, SP and Bushy.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the SP and Bushy Show. Two lifelong friends who got together to put together a podcast. I'm SP. Bushy, how you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. People don't know. This past week it was my birthday, so another year older, another year fatter, probably another year balder. With that point, and yeah, it's great. Baseball's in full swing, hockey, and we're hitting the playoff momentum with hockey and basketball. And hey, the NFL draft's just right around the corner.
Absolutely. Obviously, a great time in sports. Happy birthday to you. Obviously, we talked about it. Rocky's giving you a win for your birthday at the game, so that was obviously exciting for you.
It's the first time since I've worked there they've actually won on my birthday. I'm 1-2 now, so I'm very happy about that.
There you go. Maybe a sign of good things to come.
Yes, maybe a good sign of things to come. They've had a good homestand, actually. Really, I mean they've gotten 3 out of 5, and they beat Houston.
Yeah, Houston kind of in a downward spiral. They started off like gangbusters, and then I think that the trash can banging must have stopped because they've been really in a dive since.
Yes, they have been, and they were in these games, but it's just they had like 1 or 2 innings where like the Rockies offense really exploded and actually got some timely hits. And yeah, it's crazy. It's great to see the Astros finally get a little comeuppance and stuff. And I did hear a lot of boos when Correa was up and Bregman was up. Oh, there were a ton of boos. Like, they should be lucky that was only like 10,000 people in attendance for those 2 games compared to like 50,000.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, we talked about it, them getting booed all year. Now the fans are being back. Do you think that's going to rattle them more? Or do you think they're going to embrace being like the heels in wrestling, like being like in this bad guy role at some point?
I think to start out with, I think they enjoyed it. I think they like being in this role, but I think as time is kind of going on, I think they don't like being the bad guys. It doesn't seem that way, or they really do seem rattled by all the boos and all that.
Absolutely, and then obviously the fact that they have Verlander out once again due to that Tommy John at the end of last year obviously hurts them too.
Yes, it does hurts them, and I think really the loss, a really big loss too, has been George Springer. I think George Springer really kind of helped kickstart that offense going, and with him at the top of the lineup, and they're kind of missing that top of the lineup guy to kind of get on base and have either Bregman, Correa, or Altuve kind of drive them home.
Yeah, absolutely, a huge loss for that team in the offseason. Definitely George Springer. Obviously, the Rockies get 2 in a row, still holding the worst record in baseball, but are they on the upswing? Is that's going to be the beginning of new things for them?
We'll have to wait and see. They actually are playing a lot better than like the record has kind of shown. Really, like 9 out of their 12 losses have been by 2 or fewer runs. So it's not like they're getting beat and like beat soundly. They have played the Dodgers really tough, even though it hasn't really shown up as far as with the records as well. And yeah, actually the starting pitching has been really, really well. That's probably the good surprise of this team has been really the starting pitching. They've been at least giving you 6 to 7 innings, basically 6 to 7 innings a game.
Yeah, obviously John Gray and Antonio Sanzatella both having good starts this week. The thing that stands out to me about this team, Rockies right now looking good at home, 6-6 at home, 0-6 on the road. Obviously, a lot of road games coming up here at some point, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can get off the schneid away from Coors.
Yeah, that's been the kicker. So we'll have to wait and see. They're going to go on the road next week. Playing against probably a tough San Francisco team as of right now, but who knows with them? They do have Jake McGee as the closer, so
Hey, he's been great.
they're waiting for the inevitable right now, where he kind of blows 4 out of 5 games or something like that, where a lot of those wins become losses. So we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Or maybe Jake McGee becomes one of those guys who like gets a lot better after leaving the Rockies, and there have been a lot of them over the years that have done that.
I think that's the thing with like I think the thing with Jake McGee is it's just he has that good first year where everything's going good and you're like, oh, it justifies the signing, it justifies the move of that, but then after the next year it really starts tapering off, and you expect them to maybe take a leap or stay the same. No, it's going to be a slight decline.
I mean, obviously, we got to talk about some surprising division leaders in this thing too. You got the Royals in first place. You got the Seattle Mariners in first place. We touched on the Red Sox last week, and then obviously we touched that the National League East was going to be hard, but the Mets are leading that thing at 500 right now.
Yeah, they've had a couple of rain out, snow out games.
COVID games.
Yeah, they've had some COVID games as well. So we'll have to wait and see with that. They're a very tough team to figure out, because they did come into Coors Field, and I watched and I got to watch them for 2 days. And man, I mean they have a tough time probably, with like timely hitting or something like that. They have gotten they did get the timely hitting that game, and then they did kind of get the timely hitting on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, really, they should have lost 2 out of 3 to the Rockies. I mean, it took an implosion by the bullpen, and then basically Marcus Stroman pitched in a gem for them on that Sunday, really to kind of squeak out 2 out of the 3 wins. But I do have to admit, I love the 7-inning doubleheaders. Those are amazing. I love them. They are great. One of the best moves the MLB has done in years. I love it. It really is like an excellent thing. They should really just keep the 7-inning doubleheaders and keep them like they are.
You don't want to work 2 9s in a row?
As a guy who's worked a couple of 2 9s, yeah, those games are never fun at all. I love the 2 7s. It really brings a lot of urgency too when you hit that 5, 6, 7 inning, because you have less innings to work with. It's not like, oh, we're in the middle of the game. Oh, we got to figure it out. But it's like, but it was like really that first game. It was the 5th inning. And it was like, oh snap, they're facing against Jacob deGrom, and they only have 2 innings left to work with. So I do like the sense of urgency.
Yeah, I gotta say I agree with it too. I mean, obviously, from the stats perspective, I've worked a couple of 2 9s, and man, those 2 9s, they can really, really drag on you by the end of it.
Yeah, they could really drag out in. You're just like, just end the game, please. Like, I'm ready for it to be ended. But no, it's like quick, boom, boom games, and it just and they start like 45 minutes, and they start like 45 minutes after the first game. So it was nice to. It was nice to BC. It was to see and be a part of it, and just an awesome experience.
Excellent. Well, obviously, that is something that's very exciting going on right now. The 2 7s. I think it is a good move for fans, especially going forward. I think 2 9s is just too much baseball for anybody. Welcome back from that impromptu break. My computer froze. I don't think anyone minded seeing my face like or whatever it ended up being. But in any event, we were about to talk about the Oakland A's, winners of 11 straight games. Just talk a little bit about what you're seeing from this team.
They're playing really good baseball right now. That's the case with baseball. Sometimes you'll see a team, string off 10, 11, 12 wins and something like that. And they're just playing the right baseball right now. They're getting a good amount of pitching, hitting, timely fielding. Everything's going right for this team right now. It is a little bit weird though that it's happening in early April. So a little bit cause for concern that you're playing everything right in early April, and that could come and kill you come September.
Who knows? I mean, obviously, this is a team that's shown that they can reach the postseason, did so last year. Billy Beane, once again, doing a great job of getting this team in a competitive spot. You got to give them credit. once again, it seems like they're always able to do the most with the least.
Yes, they are able to do the most with the least. A little bit concerning too. I've been looking. It really has been as far as with the AL. Actually, it's not been the Yankees. It's actually been the Minnesota Twins. Actually, they're 6-11 right now. Really haven't played good baseball. They just got swept by the team we just talked about, the Oakland A's. And yeah, this is something for maybe a little bit of cause for concern, but maybe not right now.
Yeah, I mean, they did have like a few games in a row that were postponed, and I wonder if that threw off their momentum. They did get ran out by Boston a bunch of times too. So I mean, they are a team that's had a tough schedule early, but they are really struggling, and the pitching definitely seems to be a woe for them.
Yeah, and they lost to Seattle too, so they've lost to probably three of the better teams right now in the AL. So during this streak, so a little bit cause for concern.
Let's talk about Seattle for a second. Do you think they're for real, or do you think they're going to fade here?
I think they're going to fade here. They're still like a young team. It is great that they're pulling off a lot of these wins and giving Seattle fans hope. But I think Seattle fans are just kind of burned right now. They're waiting for the other shoe to drop, really, and be like, okay, when are they going to win? When are they going to lose like 7 out of 8 or 9 out of 10, that type of thing?
I would love to see them keep it going. I was obviously a big Mariners. Like the Mariners were kind of like my second team there in like the late 90s, early 2000s, just with all the guys that they had. And obviously they haven't been to the playoffs since they had those guys. So it'd be good to see them finally get things turned around.
It would be nice. Yes, they're. Yeah, I think they're the longest playoff drought route,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
For in the whole major league. So
I think in
it,
all major sports.
yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, really, they are it's tough. I mean, they're playing good baseball right now. We'll just have to wait and see with them.
And you touched on the Yankees, Bushy. We got to talk about them, man. Obviously, clear favorites to win the AL starting this season, and they are in last place. I mean, they've won a couple in a row, but I mean, they are a team that really is struggling.
Yes, they're a team that really is struggling. They've actually really been the talk of the baseball world. Really, the Oakland has had this like 12-run, but everybody seems to be talking about the Yankees and how really, I mean, they're having this slow start right now, and yeah, and they've been losing the teams in the division too, which that's kind of cause for concern. They're losing to Tampa Bay, they're losing to Toronto. They haven't played Boston yet, so we'll have to see with that. But yeah, it's tough. We'll have to wait and see. I do expect them to maybe bounce back a little bit. They do have, at least from the top, they do have good starters, and I guess they're really waiting on Stanton and Judge to really start to get going.
Yeah, obviously that's been a cause for concern is the performance of those two who have struggled to start the season. That said, I mean, it feels like 5 of those losses have come against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay just seems like the team that has the Yankees number, don't you think?
Yeah, it's one of these. I guess it's one of those division type of things where it's just like, you know what, guys, we're not scared of you. We beat you in the playoffs last year. We're not scared of you guys. That's got to be a cause for concern for the Yankees because really sometimes they try to beat you through intimidation. It's like we're the Yankees. We have these pinstripes. You see the NY logo. Yeah, you should be scared of us. And Tampa Bay goes, we're not scared of you. We know how to beat you guys, and they figure out a way how to.
Yeah, absolutely. That's obviously a key part of this whole thing. The fact that Tampa Bay is not intimidated by the Yankees, and it seems like Boston obviously isn't going to be, and neither are the Blue Jays, and maybe not the Orioles. I don't think they've played each other yet. But once again, you got to look at this thing. I mean, what point does Aaron Boone's seat get hot? Because, I mean, once again, he's gotten them close, but he hasn't gotten them over the hump. He hasn't gotten them that World Series appearance. And if there's one thing we've learned about the Yankees is that they don't really tolerate that complacency. They're not in it to, finish second or third in the division.
If George Steinbrenner were still alive, yes, I would totally agree with you. But I think this is a different type of like Steinbrenners that are running the team. I feel like they're definitely a lot more kind of relaxed. They're not as hot-headed as George was. But yeah, I think if they still have this kind of record that they have kind of mid-May, I think we may have to start really talking about maybe a managerial change.
Yeah, because I mean, it felt like they got rid of Girardi for less.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a team really on the falter a little bit, and yeah, it's just Boone is. I think it's a lot of these analytics people just not agreeing with sometimes the managers with that, and sometimes the managers in the general managers clash over stuff as far as with lineup issues. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Who knows? Who knows? They could probably next week we talk about, wow, the Yankees have strung off 7 or 8 in a row.
They definitely have the talent to do that. That's for sure.
Yes, Yes, they definitely have the talent. So we'll have to wait and see on that.
You gotta wonder though, is Aaron Boone the George Karl of like baseball, where he can always get you to like a conference final, but he can't get you to like the championship?
Yes, he could be. Yeah, we didn't discuss him.
We didn't discuss George Karl, did we, last week?
No. For our Marty Schottenheimer All-Stars, yeah, he should definitely be on the top of the list because we
definitely should have.
How did we
leave him off?
Yeah, we've known it. We've known it for several years. Being Nuggets fans, we know the George Karl experience, where it's this amazing regular season, and then kind of poo-poo in the playoffs, or they have that one deep run where they get to the conference finals, but then they lose.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah,
I can't believe we left him off the list.
Oh, do you want to go? Do you want to gloat a little bit? St. Louis, last place in the Central right now. Do you want to gloat a little bit? I'll take my wins any way I can. I mean, if St. Louis finishes last in the Central, I'll take that as a win.
Hey, let's talk about how good Milwaukee's doing in that division too, though. I mean, obviously the Cardinals have been struggling, which is a huge surprise there, but you got to look at how good Milwaukee's been too.
Yes, Milwaukee has been playing strong right now. That's Craig Counsell's a really, really good manager, and he's doing what he's doing right now, and they're playing really good baseball right now, and they have a great it seems like they have a great bullpen right now, which that was really their case of why they had such a really good season in 2018 was a really strong bullpen.
Yeah, and you got to give them credit. I mean, they obviously swept the Padres. They took 2 or 3 from the Cardinals. Somehow lost 2 to the Pirates, but really they've been like really handling the good teams in this, or the teams that we thought were going to be the top tier teams in this league. So you got to give them credit.
Yeah, and they took 2 out of 3 against St. Louis. They took 2 out of 3 against the Cubs, which have been playing a little bit better. They have a nice 3-game series against the Cubs this weekend, so we'll see with that. But then, really, I mean, they have a litmus test. Really, end of the month, they have a 4-game series against the Dodgers. That's really going to probably be their litmus test to see if this team's for real, or is this team really okay? Yeah, the Dodgers are the best team, and we'll just fight for the Central.
But you got to give them, like I said, give them credit for that sweep of San Diego. That was huge.
Yes, I do got to give them credit. Yeah, beating San Diego in San Diego too,
Right.
which is a very tough ballpark. And yeah, they beat them pretty good. I mean, they won 6-0 one of those games too. I mean, shutting out the Padres, especially with that lineup, is very impressive.
Absolutely, it certainly is. And you obviously touched on the Cardinals. Talk about offense. They need to get that offense going bad.
Oh, it's great. I love it. But here's the thing. I've kind of checked the past 2 years, the 2 non-COVID years. In check last year because I think I throw 2020 out the window because of COVID. But I checked the 18 and 19, and they hovered around. They finished with really good records in 18 and 19. But if you saw really around the All-Star break, they were hovering around the 500 range. So they do get off the slow starts as of late for the Cardinals. So I wouldn't be shocked if they'd be hovering around 500 around the All-Star break.
Yeah, they definitely seem like a September surging team for sure. Because there was even that one year, it was a long time ago, where they like were able to win the World Series after being like 1 game away from being mathematically eliminated mid-September. Then they just go on this epic run.
Yeah, they do have a way of getting, kind of hitting their stride around August, September, and that really kind of helps them on, probably winning the division or at least getting into a playoff spot.
Yep. Obviously, lots of baseball to be played. Not a lot of hockey to be played now. You got teams clinching playoff spots as the countdown to the playoffs gets started. Let's look at the NHL and see how things are going there. Let's start with obviously our top five. Who do you have rolling in that fifth spot?
I got rolling in that fifth spot right now. I have the Toronto Maple Leafs. I know they lost 4 in a row before winning last night, but they still are in the top of the North Division. I do got to give them credit with that. They were playing really good until they had the 4-game slide a little bit. But yeah, they beat Winnipeg last night, which is very good. And they got another big one against Winnipeg on Saturday. So we'll have to wait and see with the Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're a good team. I think I have them rolling in at right now the 6th spot, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they are a good team. The team I want to talk about right now at the 5th spot is the Minnesota Wild. Wild are hitting their stride. They've won 5 in a row. Obviously, they're in a very tough division, but right now they are the 3rd best team in that division. And like I said, 5 in a row, that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, 3rd best team in the division right now, and really probably a team you don't want to play in the first round. So, so I think Vegas and Colorado are kind of fighting to try to get that number 1 spot. So they would try to avoid playing Minnesota in that first round of the playoffs. So yeah, they're playing really well as of late, and their last game again, they've been playing really good hockey right now, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop right now. We'll have to wait and see with Minnesota. Is this the every year that went right year, or is this a year where they kind of build on towards success?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like we've seen with them, they've been an up and down team, but right now they're on the up, and I got to put them in the 5th spot.
Yeah, you got to put them up in the 5th spot. They're playing really well right now, and they have been really the surprise probably of the. I guess they really have been the surprise of the hockey. I guess of the hockey world, really. I mean, them being in the 3rd spot right now and playing really well hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably were going to. A lot of people were predicting maybe they get that 4th spot if a couple of teams kind of faltered a little bit. But no, they've been really dominating, really cementing their spot to be in the playoffs.
See, I don't think of them as a surprise. The team that's the biggest surprise to me is actually the team that's in my number 4 spot right now, and that is the Florida Panthers. Actually, no, they're not my 4th spot, but they're the surprise in hockey to me.
Yeah, they are a surprising hockey team. They brought up Spencer Knight, who was the goalie from the World Junior Championship teams earlier this year, which stopped that really good Canada team and shut them out. And made some really, really good saves. So he could be another good goalie. I mean, Florida just produces goalies like nobody's business. I mean, think about it, man. They had Luongo. Probably a couple of people I can't name off the top of my head right now, but that place is like a goalie produced central right now. So
the Beezer.
Maybe not so much with Mark Fitzpatrick in a way.
Thomas Vokoun was there for a little bit though too.
Yeah, Vokoun was there. It's like Bobrovsky and but some of their like homegrown talent really have produced really well in the NHL. So we'll see with him.
Yeah, so actually I have them just outside of my top 5, but they're a team that definitely looks like they could have that potential going into the playoffs.
They were outside my top 5,
but barely.
Yeah, but barely. Yeah, they were like 6. Yeah, I had them as 6 as well.
Yeah, I think I have them in Toronto kind of competing for that 6th spot. Who do you have at 4?
Number 4 right now, I got the Washington Capitals. I mean, 3, they've won 3 out of 5, not bad. They did lose to Buffalo though, so I got to dock them maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But they did, they beat Philly. They beat the Islanders in the shootout last night, which was a really good game. Really, 2 goalies, both goalies stood on their head. And again, they had another game on Saturday against Islanders, so that could help. And they got another game too against the Islanders, which really could set up. That could be the potential for maybe the East crown.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the East is very competitive. That leads me into my number 4 team, which is the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think that right now they seem a little bit better poised than the Capitals to make a run, mainly because they did. They lost to Buffalo too. But, I guess they've been beating up on the Devils. You know what? You're going to sway me. I just looked it up. They've just been beating the Devils. So I'm going to switch it over to the Capitals too.
Yeah. I don't know. Buffalo
Penguins
has
are
been
beating the
playing by
Devils.
late. Buffalo has been playing better by late, which we will come to in our worst team segment. But but they got Pittsburgh and Washington have a really fun 2-game set the next week. So that could help really decide the that could help really decide the who gets number one in that division.
Well, that's an insanely competitive division because you talked about it. The Islanders, if they beat the Capitals, could jump to 2 points and be in the lead in that division as well. Plus, you got Boston charging hard. Boston's won 6 in a row. Their last loss was a blowout, 8-1 to Chicago. But I mean, obviously, once again, they're beating.
They don't play Chicago.
Or not Chicago, Washington, yeah.
Yeah, Washington. Yeah, so.
But once again, they're beating up on Buffalo, but they have some wins against the Islanders in there. So I mean, they're a team that seems to be hitting its stride at the right time too.
They have been, and really that East is going to be a very competitive division to watch because really, I mean, 4 points separate 1 and 4. So who knows? We could be talking about next week as Washington being the 4th seed and Boston being the 1st seed. Who knows?
We certainly could. It's very exciting. It's good to see. I'm actually going to name Boston my number 4 team right now. They're playing good hockey.
Yeah, and it's and this is actually the case too, where I see with like most of the divisions, this is actually the case where you know who the 4 teams are going to be. We just got to sort them out because really, I mean, Rangers seem kind of out of it. Rangers kind of seem disappointing. Yeah, Flyers have been disappointing. And then Jersey and Buffalo are
more on them to come.
Yeah, more on that to come.
Yeah.
But it's like just looking at some of the other divisions, it looks like really probably other than probably the North Division, really that's got set up. I mean, the Central really is up in the air, that 4th seed as well, and same goes for the West.
Right, exactly. That Central is going to be a big battle between Nashville, Dallas, and Chicago for that 4.
Yes, Dallas has actually played better hockey as of late. They've really been on a nice little surge right now, which is really going to be It's going to be really a test for maybe the Central number 1 seed if Dallas does end up getting that 4th seed. So Carolina or Florida, that could be a hassle for them.
Right, absolutely. I mean, obviously Dallas is a team that went to the Stanley Cup Finals a year ago, so they obviously still have that potential. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Obviously, it seems like during this little run that they've had, they've been beating up on the Red Wings in Columbus. But
yeah, hey, you're supposed to beat the teams that you're supposed to. So
right.
Maybe that was the case with like Nashville as well. They kind of beat up on Detroit and Columbus as well. And it's going to be fun to see, if Dallas makes it or Nashville makes it as well. And that West, I mean, it really is going to go down between Arizona, St. Louis, and San Jose. I mean, the Kings aren't far ahead as well. So it's going to be a fun who gets the 4th seed in the West Division.
Who gets the 4 seed and who gets whooped by either the Golden Knights or the Avs?
Yeah, basically, that's going to be the case.
We're talking about the Sharks being in it, and they've lost 7 in a row. The Blues have lost 3 in a row, and they're somehow in this thing too.
Yeah, and they've lost to Colorado twice too. They lost to the Avs last night, which we'll talk about later. But I mean, it's going to be a fun. It's going to be a fun next 3 weeks of the season.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about your number 3 team.
My number 3 team has to be. I've got division winners so far, or division leaders so far, and that's the Carolina Hurricanes.
Absolutely.
I love Carolina. They've won 4 out of 5. They beat Florida 4-2. So, and they beat Tampa Bay as well. They lost, and then they beat Nashville, which if we talked about maybe at the beginning of the season, we go, oh man, you beat Nashville, but that's an impressive win now. They won 4-1 and 3-1.
Yeah, it seems like they've really had the Panthers number too, which has really helped them kind of cement this first place that they're in currently. So I think they're a team that once again has this potential to win that division. And obviously if they get matched up with Florida in the playoffs, they're a team that could really handle Florida. And they've also proven that they can beat the Lightning. So I think they're a team that can go into the playoffs not really worrying about who they're facing.
Yeah, and then they got a tough 3-game stretch. They play against Florida and then 2 against Dallas in Dallas. So, and Dallas is playing hot right now. So it's going to be a tough 3 games for them. But then after that, they play Detroit, Columbus, and then they have like 3 against Chicago, and then they end up with 2 against Nashville, which both teams could probably be playing for something.
Absolutely. Obviously, it's going to be a really exciting run down the stretch. But, yeah, I agree. The Hurricanes are my number 3 team as well.
Yes, they're great. They're both great teams, and they're great, but they're not as great as probably the 2 teams we're probably going to be talking about.
No, definitely not. Let's talk about your number 2.
I got Vegas. They've been playing really good hockey. They've won 8 in a row right now, so they're looking really, really well right now, and they're playing really great hockey. Sure, they've been kind of beating up on the little teams like the California teams, but hey, they've been getting wins, man, and they've been winning them handily too. They're starting to finally put the puck in the net now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is such a tough decision between 1 and 2 right now because the Golden Knights have won 8 in a row, and the Avalanche have won 5 in a row. And, like, they're both so good right now. The Avalanche have one game where they haven't gotten points in, like, their last 20 games.
I know that's why I think I have the Avs as number 1 right now because really, I mean, their past 20 games have been like just amazing.
Right. I think I'm going to agree with you, but once again, this Vegas team, like I said, I can't wait. This is going to be like a heavyweight title fight if these 2 teams meet in the playoffs. I want that.
I know, and it's such a shame too because it's going to be a second round if these 2 teams meet. Because yeah, it's a shame because it should be a conference finals matchup instead of a second round matchup. I mean, it is a darn shame because yeah, it is going to be if those teams meet, it is going to be a battle between these 2 teams.
Oh yeah, you can't miss any one of those games because like even the games that they have played, I think Vegas did get one in a shootout. Obviously, the Avalanche beat them 5-1. So I mean, once again, these are 2 teams that are right there; they're neck and neck, and I think that they're teams that once again, whoever wins that series, if these 2 teams play it, obviously would have to be the favorite to go to the Cup.
Yeah, and it's going to be against the 2 top defensive teams as well. So it could be a low-scoring game as well, or there may be a case where one game's going to be a really high-scoring one, where it's like a 5-3 type of game as well. And you will see difference in styles as well, and it's going to be a blast to see.
Absolutely, can't wait for it.
And it could spark a rivalry. So, who knows? We could be hating Vegas as much as we hate Detroit, as much as we hate Detroit. So,
oh, I don't know about that. That'd be insane. I'm all for it.
There needs to be a Claude Lemieux scenario where Claude Lemieux,
Right.
Chris Draper to kind of really ignite the thing. It really hasn't happened yet.
You need some like really good fighting or something to get the fisticuffs going.
Yeah, but oh man, I'm very excited. It's going to be. It's good. It's just really a shame that it's probably going to be a second round matchup rather than a conference finals matchup. Which in any other year, it's a conference finals matchup.
Oh, for sure. Now we talked about the haves. Let's talk about the have-nots. The bottom 5 teams here in the NHL. Lots to choose from in this category, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit tough. For me, I have as my number 5 team right now, I have the Anaheim Ducks. I know it really is it really is a shame that they're playing against really probably one of the topper divisions in the National Hockey League. They have lost 3 out of 5, but they did beat San Jose really handily in their 2 wins. But then they lose to Vegas twice handily, and then they lost to LA on Tuesday very handily as well. So that's their problem. It's really, I mean, they can't score. Really, that's been their problem, is that they can't score. Their goals for, they're last in the league in goals for, so they can't find a way to put the puck in the net.
Yeah, they're a bad team. They are a bad team. And I mean, obviously they're playing against some of the best teams in the league in that Western Division. But that doesn't help the fact that they have one of the worst goal differentials at -47. They're a very bad team. Once again, like you said, the offensive struggles are there. And so I would definitely put them in the bottom 5 as well at my number 5 spot.
Yes, it is a shame. I mean, it really is. I mean, but it's weird because it's like, man, they had those really good teams in the late to mid 2000 or 2010s, and really, I mean, it's been like a 3-year kind of downspurt for them.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been struggling, but it's their fault for unleashing that retro jersey upon the earth. So it's karma.
Yes, it is karma. It is karma for those retro jerseys. Even though I don't know why people are defending the dang thing. Those jerseys were horrible back in the 90s when they came out. They were always on people's worst jerseys list. And then now they're coming back. It's like, oh, it's retro. It's a reverse retro. So that means it's cool. No, it's still bad. We leave it in the 90s, folks. We put them in a time. We should put that in that Nickelodeon time capsule. That's what we should do.
If it was bad then, it's bad now. And once again, it's also bringing back memories of a point when the Ducks sucked then too, because the Ducks weren't a good team in the late 90s either. They
weren't very good. Yeah, it was just Korea and Solani, and that was it, really.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
It was just Korea and Solani and those two guys, and that was it. And they stunk, yeah.
Korea, Solani, and a sieve in net.
Yes. Oh, what was it like? I think like Guy Bear was. I remember Guy Bear was one of the goalies, and yeah, they stunk. You don't want to bring up the bad past. You want to bring up the good past.
Yeah, you want to go retro jersey like the Oilers did to like when they won the cup, not like this to when your team was the worst team in hockey in a joke.
Yes. Don't bring that out. Yeah, and I saw them because they played the Avs in those jerseys. And I'm going like, this is horrible. Why do we have these jerseys? Who approved this?
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. And the Ducks are terrible, so it fits them.
Yep, it's karma.
Exactly.
What was your number 5?
I went with the Ducks at 5 as well.
Okay. So for my number 4, they actually have been playing better as of late. I had a hard time trying to find my number 4, really.
Right.
I had my top 3, but it's like, and I had my 5. I was like, I'm trying to find a 4, and I was like, okay, this team's playing. I would have to go with Detroit right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Detroit's my. But they did win last night. They did score. They did win 7-3, and somebody, yeah. So yeah, they did lose to them the past 2 times, and then they beat Chicago and then lost to Chicago. So I don't know what to make of this team. This team, at least they're not the worst in the division, which we will talk about, but they still are pretty darn bad.
They are bad. I have them just outside. I think I have them as my 6th worst team right now. I got to go with the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, once again, the Red Wings are playing a little bit better hockey, and so is Buffalo. Buffalo's just won 4 of their last 10 games, and they've beaten both the Capitals and the Penguins in that span. But once again, you just got to look at it. They've only gotten 31 points in 47 games. It's bad. They are a team that's still the worst in the league by the point totals that we have to go by. They still have the worst goal differential in the league. So once again, it's a team that, they're a little bit on the rise, and they maybe have a little bit of something to, tip their cap towards next season, but they are still a bad team.
They are still a bad team. They were actually my number 3 team. They have been playing better as of late, but they still are one of the worst teams in hockey. They really are. But yeah, no, I don't think this is like a building block. This is just it's just one of those, they're playing hard to finish the season type of thing where people are really kind of like, we're playing the Sabres. We don't have to show up, or we just got to bring our C game. So that's the case with them.
Let's start our backup goalie for, a couple of nights, give our starter the night off.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Maybe have the E-Bug take it, the Zamboni driver.
Yeah, let's get he'll start, hey, you want to be a goaltender? Come down, man. Yeah. They pick fans from the stands. If fans actually go to the games.
Yeah, exactly.
Not because of COVID purposes, but just because the team stinks.
You don't want to see that team.
Yeah.
They got to start implementing a slap shot mentality and just start brawling with people.
Yeah, they'll have to do that. And just got to be really, I think the Hanson brothers, even at their age right now, would be an upgrade over this team.
They might. And sadly, they're not the worst. Like I said, I had them at 4. You have them at 3. So, I mean, they're a team that's somehow better than some of the other teams we're going to talk about.
Yes, they've been playing better as of late, but they're still a very, very bad team. But yeah, we do a little recency bias here, so we will definitely show that with probably our next 2 teams.
Well, yeah, actually, I have my number 3 team too.
Who's your number 3?
Yes, my number 3 is the San Jose Sharks. They are terrible. They've lost 7 in a row. And, I mean, once again, you can forgive some of the losses that the Ducks have taken to Vegas and to the Avs. And obviously, there's a couple of losses for the Sharks against the Golden Knights in this run, too, where losing 7 straight. But they've also lost 2 to the Wild. They've lost to the Ducks in this run. They've lost to the Kings in this run. So, once again, these are the teams that they need to be beating. It's the Ducks and the Kings. And if they can't beat those teams, then, once again, that's when you find yourself on these 7-game losing streaks that the Sharks are on. And obviously, this is a team that used to be good. Like, just felt like just a couple of years ago they were good. And now they've just fallen off the earth. They've aged out, and now they're just a terrible team.
Yeah, this is a team that went to the conference finals 2 years ago.
Right.
It's crazy to think about. Like, this team was in the conference finals 2 years ago, and really, and they got beat very handily to St. Louis. I mean, it wasn't like, oh shucks, it was like, oh shucks, like we could have won this series or something like that. But yeah, I mean, this is a team that went to the conference finals, and yeah, just really have just kind of fallen off the earth right now. And I remember watching that Anaheim game a couple of weeks ago, and I'm watching it, and I'm just like, and it's just funny. I mean, it was just like the Ducks basically won the game in the first period. I mean, I looked up, and it just seemed like every time the Ducks were scoring, I'm like, and it just dawned on, and it just kind of baffled me, because I'm like, is this the same Ducks team that really couldn't score on Jonas Johansson, like, for the Avs? I mean, it was crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it. And here they are, they're putting up 4 goals, 3 in the first period. I mean, it's just, that's how bad that team is, really. I mean, if they're allowing like 4 goals to Anaheim, which can't score whatsoever.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's been their problem. But yeah, I mean, they got Minnesota next. Then they got a couple against Arizona, and then they got 4 against the Avalanche. So yeah, this could be a tough stretch for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're obviously a very bad team, but
they are.
They may not win again the rest of the season.
They had a nice little stretch there.
They did.
They had a nice little stretch there, but then they really have fallen off the map right now.
Right, absolutely. They're awful. Let's talk about your second worst team.
My second worst team has to be the New Jersey Devils. They really have been playing bad hockey as of late. And yeah, they're just getting crushed by teams right now. And it's bad too, because they're losing to the Rangers. It's not like, it's like, okay, we'll give you a pass. You're losing to Pittsburgh. You're losing to this. And still they lost to Buffalo as well. So,
right.
But they lost one and won one. And
right.
yeah, you're losing to Pittsburgh. Okay, we'll give that a little bit of a pass. But it's like, you lost 4 straight to the New York Rangers. I mean, the Rangers aren't, they're not very good right now. So, and yeah, losing 4 straight to them, yeah, that knocks you down.
Yeah, actually, I had them as my worst team. They've lost 9 in a row. Their only win in the month of April was April 8th against the Sabres, like you said. Even when they're playing good, like they scored 6 goals against Pittsburgh the other night, but the Penguins scored 7. So they score 6 goals and still lose.
Yeah.
So, like I said, they are the worst team in hockey right now to me. Like, they are just getting beat handily. They're giving up a ton of goals. They're not scoring. Like I said, they got shut out on back-to-back nights by the Rangers. Like, this is a bad, bad, bad team. Like I said, they've had 1 win since March 30th, and that 1 win was against the Sabres.
Well, that's bad when you've gone basically like an entire month without a win. I mean, or basically 1 win. And
it doesn't count. It's against the Sabres. It's a JV team.
Oh, yeah. When you beat it, congratulations. Yeah, it's one of those congratulations. You beat the Sabres. But, yeah, I mean, it really is – it's really just a bad stretch right now for the Devils right now, which is – I guess when you lose Marty Brodeur, you lose kind of that aura that they had. You know, they lose this Marty Brodeur aura that they had. I mean, it's funny. It's like, you think about it. I mean, they were like an okay hockey team before Brodeur. Yeah. Then they became a really, really good hockey team. They've had some stretches here or there, but they will always seem to be in the playoffs or cup contending with at least with Brodeur in that. And now that Brodeur's gone, it's kind of tailed off again.
Oh yeah, they're horrible. Horrible team.
it is a horrible, horrible team, and it's just like, what has happened? And this is a team that you thought was gonna they made the playoffs just like the Avs in 2018, where you thought, oh, this is gonna be an up and coming team, but instead they have gone in the solid decline.
Oh, they are
While
horrible.
the Avs have made this incline, they've made the decline.
Absolutely. You thought you might have that 2001 rematch at some point. Nope.
Nope, nobody
That
whatsoever.
is not going to happen. Actually, I would love for that to happen. I would love a Stanley Cup final series right now against the Devils for the Avalanche, because that would be a guaranteed cup win.
That would feel really good right now. It's just bad right now. It's bad right now in New Jersey, and yeah,
Like
it's
I
just bad.
said,
It's just overall bad too. I mean, the Nets moved to Brooklyn. The Devils stink, and the two New York football teams stink as well. So this is a bad time in the state of New Jersey as far as sports wise.
absolutely. It's a horrible time. Like I said, the Devils, like you said, are awful. The Nets got out while they could, and now they're good. And now that they're out of New Jersey.
Yeah.
And yeah, the two football teams are terrible. And we'll talk more about them next week, obviously, as we talk about our draft needs.
Yes.
But let's talk about you had Columbus, I'm assuming, number one. I had them as the second worst team in the league right now. They've lost 8 in a row. Terrible, terrible hockey team as well.
Yes, and their one win, and they've only had one win too in the month of April. Yeah, it's funny. Their past two wins have been against Tampa Bay. Everything else has been losses. It's
Right.
it's
And that's what tipped the scales for them to be number 2 for me versus number 1, was that the Devils' one win this month was against Buffalo. The Columbus's one win this month was against Tampa Bay. So once again, the win against Tampa Bay meant a little bit more to me than the win over Buffalo did. So that's why I have them as the second worst team. But once again, awful hockey team. But for some reason, and we saw it even last year in the playoffs, they just are able to play Tampa Bay tough for some reason.
Yeah, they're able to play Tampa Bay tough, and it's just like I don't know what it is, because usually this team is a really good defensive team, but here's the goals they've given up during this 8-game losing streak: 6, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 3. That's not gonna cut it for me. That's the reason why I think I had them as number one, with the amount of goals they have given up compared to New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, as of right now, but it's just like, especially with a defensive mind like John Tortorella, where it's just like he's a really defensive minded hockey guy. Really, this team has really kind of fallen off, and he's probably gonna get fired after this year.
Yeah, but once again, the Devils have not given up less than 3 goals in any of these games either. So
Yeah, but I just like I've never been a big fan of John Tortorella.
Right.
I think I've never been a big fan of him. I know I think people like him in the media because he does give like good sound bites and all that, and he's kind of honest in his way. But it's just like I don't think he's a very good coach. Like, he has a run, and this is the end of the run.
yeah, he's definitely on the downslide. It's Columbus obviously on the downslide. Not as bad as New Jersey, in my opinion, but they are
Yeah.
they are definitely, because we don't disagree much on this show. So
No, we don't. But really, I think Columbus is just my worst team right now. They're playing really bad. They're not. Yeah, it's like they're not putting the puck in the net. And they're giving up a lot of goals too, which that's a bad formula.
yeah, but even when the Devils score 6 goals, they still lose. So
That is true. Yes.
you gotta take that.
During the start of the losing streak, they scored 4 goals, but they gave up 6 for Columbus too.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, once again, either way, both of these teams are awful. Let's just call it what it is. Both of these teams are awful. Both losers of 8 in a row. Like 8 in a row. That is a real rough stretch.
It is bad, especially if you're playing the same team each night. Usually you get a sense of, oh, I know what this team's going to be doing, and yeah, it's just bad right now.
You should be able to take 1 of 4 against the Rangers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, you should, but yeah, they're just that bad, and I don't think they have good goaltending either. The goaltending stinks, and the defense stinks too.
Both teams stink on defense. Both teams stink in goal. Like, I mean, there is nothing positive about either of these two teams. Let's be honest.
No, nothing at all. It's a bad stretch right now for these worst teams. And I love talking about the worst teams rather than the best teams because I think with the best teams, we'll be talking about them more. Right. Yeah, and I think that's why I like talking about the worst teams right now because come playoff time, we won't be talking about them all
I
that
know.
time.
We will never get – I mean, obviously, at some point we think we'll get to see the end of this debate between Vegas and Colorado in a playoff series. We think we'll get to see some of these teams play it out in the playoffs. Unfortunately, we'll never get to see the toilet bowl that would be the Devils against the Blue Jackets.
I want that. Give me that. Give me that right now. 7-game series for the first overall pick. Give me that.
Don't want 7 games.
Put it on ESPN Plus right now. That should be ESPN's foray back into hockey. Put that on ESPN Plus. I want it.
Actually, I don't want like a 7-game series. Here's what I want. I want a 3-team round robin. Give me the Devils. Give me the Columbus Blue Jackets, and give me the Trinidad and Tobago World Juniors team from Mighty Ducks too. That's how bad.
Yeah. I don't know. Italy stunk too. Come on, they lost 11-0 they lost 11-0. At least they put goals. At least Trinidad and Tobago put goals in, compared to Italy, which couldn't score at all. I think Italy is a worse team than Trinidad and Tobago. Prove me wrong.
I know. We need to get the players from those 2 teams out to play it.
Yes. Good. Seriously, you're able to score on Goldberg. I'm sorry. It's not like Julie the Cat Gaffney was that goaltender or something like that. It was Goldberg in the Italy game, and they somehow couldn't put the puck in the net.
Yeah. Rough go.
It is a rough go for Italy. Italy is the worst team in Mighty Ducks 2.
Yeah, it might be. I might have to go watch it and decide.
How good were the Panthers? Going back to Mighty Ducks 1 because I kind of rewatched it. How good were the Panthers? Were they in the mix? Or were they like a 4 or 5 seed or something like that?
I think they were right there. They were close. Obviously, the Ducks and the Blackhawks were like the top 2, but I think the Panthers were like right after that.
Yeah. Before they had this measles outbreak,
Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, it's crazy. I really want to know because you never saw the record. Hans just put an F for forfeit. So it's just like because clearly the 2 worst teams were the Ducks and the Huskies. So we can throw that out.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just how good were they? Were they? I don't think they were as good as either the Hawks or the Cardinals.
No.
Yeah, but who knows? They could be in that Hornets range or something like that.
Well, I mean, it's going to depend. Like, obviously, you've seen how some of these teams have bounced back or haven't bounced back from the COVID outbreak. It'll be interesting to see how they bounce back after the measles outbreak.
Measles outbreak, yeah. And they got it such late in the season. Oh, yeah. That poor – I know. That poor it's a shame. Who got it? There needs to be an investigation. Like, who got it first? Who spread it around?
Gordon Bombay might have snuck it in there.
He snuck it in. He went, oh. He got the measles outbreak. Oh, geez, the Panthers got measles.
Hans was lacing the uniforms with something.
Yeah, he was lacing it. Oh, now that Gordon's part of the Ducks now, I'll try to help him as much as possible.
Wow. I never thought we'd end up in Mighty Ducks conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy. Why not? Why not? Why not? We're gonna hit that stretch probably in like late July, early August, where it's like we can barely talk about stuff. We might as well start it now.
Exactly. Yeah. I kind of wanted to bring up a little bit of sports movie stuff. Obviously, Oscars this week, sports movies. Do you have like a best picture sports movie of all time?
Oh man. Oh, you're putting me on the spot here.
I know we didn't talk about this, so.
Yeah, we didn't.
If not, we can wait and hash this out another week. I don't care about the Oscars at all because I didn't see any movies this past year that came out. My best picture this year by default would have to be Freaky with Vince Vaughn because that's the only movie I saw, just because we Redboxed it last week or something.
I think the 2 new movies I saw were Bill and Ted Face the Music, and then that Welcome to Sudden Death that we reviewed on this show.
Oh yeah. That was funny too.
Yeah, that was that's a bad movie. Again, Again, going back at it, it was so to remind it was so bad. I had to watch the original Sudden Death to get that taste out of my mouth. That's how bad it was.
Right. I do miss.
Yeah.
I still haven't found Sudden Death. I need to rewatch Sudden Death.
Yeah, might as well look it up. Yeah, I'm sure some of the streaming service because it seems like that a lot of streaming services have Jean Claude Van Damme movies. So
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be able to find a Jean Claude Van Damme movie.
There's just nothing better than seeing Jean Claude Van Damme roundhouse kick the Pittsburgh Penguins mascot in the face.
Yeah, it's great. He fights a giant penguin. People, it's a great movie. It's a great part.
I just want to see an action movie released now where Jean Claude Van Damme just takes on the mascots of all big league teams. Like they're all terrorists secretly disguised as mascots that are like there for some all-star game or something. And they're all disguised as like the mascots, and Jean Claude Van Damme has to take them all out.
They terrorize the.
They terrorize Coors Field for the All-Star.
Yeah, they terrorize Coors Field for the All-Star game. Yeah.
And you can be like that guy, like the janitor guy was for.
Yeah, where I know where everything is. Oh, yeah. I know where that is.
Yeah. You could be the janitor guy from Welcome to Sudden Death or whatever it was.
Yeah, I could be that way.
I do already be better than that guy, so.
But I have to ham it up like, oh, Jean-Claude, you got to go this way through the tunnel.
Yeah, just show up with like the tornado pretzel, like everyone else is deeply concerned.
No. I would do that. I would do that weapon. You know that weapon in Sudden Death where he fires it from his like the thing and hits the guy in the neck.
Yeah.
I know where the engineering place is, so I could probably make that as a tornado. I'd be like, hey man, you want a tornado? I would offer it to one of the mascots, and
there you go.
Yeah, then I would say, you just got tornadoed.
Yeah.
There you go, baby.
There's my one-liner. The head bad guy could be whoever's in the Dinger costume since it's at Coors Field,
It could be. Or I would actually probably make it a little more recognizable, so we would make him maybe Mr. Met or something like that.
Yeah, the Philly Fanatic, yeah.
Yeah, the Philly Fanatic. Jean-Claude Van Damme versus a guy in a Philly Fanatic costume. I want it. Sign me up.
I love it. And then you have that would be hilarious. Give me that.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme dresses up as one of the mascots as well to try to infiltrate as well.
Yeah,
who would
exactly.
he be?
He sneaks in as
Yeah, no, actually, he's the one that sneaks into the Diener costume. I think we make Diener the hero. Yeah, he sneaks in as the Diener costume.
I don't know how well he can roundhouse kick in the Diener costume, so he'll like roundhouse tail whip somebody.
Yeah, he'll roundhouse tail whip. Oh, geez. I love it. We should just sign it up right now.
Yeah, I'll start working on the script. It'll just be called Jean Claude Van Damme versus mascots.
Versus mascots. He still got it. I mean, if he could do that splits that he did a few years ago, he still got it.
Yeah, I was rewatching Expendables 2 during the pandemic. He can still,
he can still do it. Yeah.
Something. Yeah. It's a guy in a penguin costume. He doesn't need to be on his A game to beat up a guy in a penguin costume.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, or like a Mr. Met or
exactly.
Whatever the Cincinnati Reds mascot.
Oh yeah, I want to see him like roundhouse kick the mustache off that guy. It's a baseball with a mustache. I just want to see it.
Yeah, he uses the pitching machine as like a weapon or something like that. The pitching machine down below in the visitors' locker room.
Yeah, that'd be great. Plus, with baseball, you got baseball bats and stuff, and he could be like fighting them all.
Yeah, he could be doing kung fu moves or something like that
He's sword fighting. He's like sword fighting while like two mascots attack him or whatever. Like TC, the Twins mascot, and then the Royals mascot could both be attacking him.
Oh, I love it. Yes, I love it.
All right. Let's also.
I think we got off the rails a little bit.
What's that?
I think we got off the rails a little bit.
Have you watched the rails?
Have you watched the new Mighty Ducks series?
No, I haven't yet. I need to.
I watched the first episode. It's pretty good. It's nice to see Emilio reprise the Gordon Bombay role. It does look like he's done a little 180 a little bit. He's back to the first part of Mighty Ducks when he's the lawyer and he hates hockey or something like that. He's not a lawyer anymore, but he's like he hates hockey again. So I need to watch the episodes of like why does he hate hockey now?
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I actually probably am about to get off of here and watch that, and also start writing this movie of Jean Claude Van Damme versus mascots. If Welcome to Sudden Death can get made, then this can get made, right?
Yes, we could do it. Yeah, it's just Jean Claude Van Damme. We'll just get a bunch of other actors.
Yeah, in mascot costumes.
So yeah, we just gotta hire stunt people.
And you're the guy leading him around Coors Field.
Oh, should I be the guy? I would love to be the guy that kind of turns on him, where I think I'm a good guy.
Yeah,
I act like a good guy, but then I turn on him. I'm like, I'm about to be really rich.
Yeah, it turns out you were masterminding the whole thing.
Yeah. It turns out, I'm just this lowly old authentic salesman. What can I do? And I know all the place.
And then the whole like grand scheme of this thing will be to like get Dick Monfort to sign the team over to you.
Well, it'd probably be like an ownership I don't know. No, that's too low. That's too low of a ransom. I need something bigger.
You need something bigger than owning the Colorado Rockies, man? Come on.
Yeah. No, I want something bigger. I want I want a lot of money. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I want a lot of money. Well. Yeah, we capture who do we capture? Who do we capture? Like, I know.
Well, it's always like some sort of like political, like vice president or president in the series.
Yeah, I think we up the stakes. I think we capture the president in this one. Sudden Death, it was the vice president. I think we up the stakes and we make it a president.
Yeah, and it's gonna be called Extra Innings because of Sudden Death.
I love it. Yes, and then I get mad when Trevor Story hits a game time home run to offer extra, and he's like, "Oh, extra innings, God."
And then you shoot like a random Secret Service agent because
that's how evil I am.
Yeah. All right.
That's how evil I am.
All right. So basically, all we need to do is write the script and then just talk to Jean Claude Van Damme's agent. So
yeah, talk to Jean Claude Van Damme's agent. Talk to Warner Brothers and all that. I think we made up a good premise right now.
Right, and then somehow we would need to get all 30 Major League Baseball teams to consent to let their mascots be roundhouse kicks or whatever.
Mr. Met be shot, or the Reds mascot be shot, or whatever the mascot the Houston Astros one. We do like a trash can one.
Yeah,
that stays in the trash.
Yeah, exactly. He just like
he beats him with the trash can. Oh, that'd be great. I don't think the Astros would sign off on that.
Oh man.
Oh my God. Oh jeez.
Wow. Well, if you survived, if you made it to this point in the episode, then you definitely
God bless you. God bless you. You have seen high comedy right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Once again, you heard it here first, so don't go stealing our idea about extra innings. We're going to work on it.
Yes. We will have
Van Damme on board.
Yes. And yes, when that movie comes out, we will review it. We will review our own movie. And then when Space Jam 2 comes out, we'll review that as well. I'm very excited for it.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited to review it and just be like, man, I'm gonna have to watch the original Space Jam. That's how bad it was. I'm hoping it's gonna be that.
I'm hoping it's not gonna be that. I'm hoping it's gonna be good. Obviously, the jerseys that we've seen from the Toon Squad jerseys are already making me think it's not. But
yeah, it's not. Yeah, I saw the trailer. I'm kind of intrigued, so I definitely will watch it. Of course. Thankfully, I have HBO Max, so I'll able to watch it as it happens. So we'll see that, and then we'll see if that happens.
Awesome. Well, yes. Watch that movie. Watch the Mighty Ducks. I'm about to go watch the Mighty Ducks, and then we'll be working on getting a hold. And if you know Jean Claude Van Damme's agent, help him get in contact with us.
Yes, and yes, watch Sudden Death, people. Amazing mid-90s action movie. Very underappreciated. He fights a giant penguin. It's Die Hard on a hockey rink, folks. That's all it is. Do I need to say
In a
more?
hockey rink, he fights the Pittsburgh Penguins mascot, who actually gives him the best fight of the entire movie.
It is the best fight of that movie, yes, and it was the first fight too. So
Right.
the best fight of the movie is the first fight, but it does get better. I do love the creativity of the way he kind of kills people. It's very, very one. There's one with a squirt gun, which I will not spoil.
Right, absolutely. Well, go watch Sudden Death. We're gonna go watch some other stuff. We appreciate you watching this episode of the show. Thank you again for watching. Go back and watch and like all of our other episodes, and then I said this will probably be titled "SP and Bushy Go Off the Rails."
Absolutely, yes. We needed something. Let's go off the rails.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll let you get to it. I know. Speaking of the Philly Fanatic, you got to go work rock these Phillies later tonight.
Yes, unfortunately, we won't have a Philly Fanatic against Diener showdown, which I'm very upset. So.
Oh, we will once we get this movie made.
Yes, we will once we get this movie made. Yes, we will.
Awesome. All right, man. This has been a great talk. It's been great. Once again, we thank you all for watching and hope you all have a great day.
Thank you. Peace.